into it. One of the biggest talking points from last year's game, the RNG in shooting. What can you tell us about shooting this year, and can you compare it to a past 2K?
Okay, so we've talked about this online a little bit. There's no RNG in shooting. I'm going to say that with an exception. There's RNG still in like those quick heaves that you get at the ends of buzzers, buzzer beaters, and like half court, full court heaves. Okay, so that's still, I don't want to get labeled a liar.
Fair enough.
That's still going to use a dice roll. But everything else is straight green windows, pure green windows. They scale based on attributes and coverage and all the badges and everything. But those windows, once they're set by those things, if you can time your shot in those windows, you will hit the shot.
So theoretically, you can time your shot in those windows. You can shoot 100%.
You can shoot 100%. Yeah. So compared to past 2Ks, that one's hard to answer because we really have never done this before. The closest was probably 24. 24, we had a pure green window, a little bit larger one, but that one even had RNG on the edges. So what happened there is like, it was a really, really tight window that most people probably couldn't hit consistently. And then that would bleed out to like, 0% chance on the edges. So we still used a dice roll to keep the numbers like, so people wouldn't go like, over 10. They would at least hit some shots if they were kind of sloppy on their timing.
Right.
So that was the idea there.
So you'd say it's like a more skilled base 2K24 shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are crazy good at shot timing, you're going to take good shots, you're going to destroy people.
You're going to separate yourselves from other players.
Absolutely. And to offset that, I'll throw that out there too, is that one of the reasons why we felt we could go this way is because defense is stronger. So contests, they're powerful. If you can get a hand up, and I watch you guys play a lot. I know you guys are really good at doing this. So you know when to jump, you know when to stay down, you know when to be in hands up. People who master that, they're going to be able to ding these shooters hard enough where it's going to be such a hard window to hit that consistently at least, that you're going to keep the percentages down. So I'm not too worried because at least all the play tests we've been having, we're getting good numbers.
So we'll segue into shot contests then. It seems like it can be challenging to find a balance, right? You have attributes, badges, player heights, player wingspans, hand placements on the contest. How do you try to balance it to make it to a point where you're not getting contests when you shouldn't, and then you are, it's not too strong, too weak? How do you find the balance between all those factors?
Yeah, it's really hard. It's just a lot of iteration, and it's seeing what feels right. And the hardest thing about contests, I'm going to say, is usually what happens is in the 2K cam view when you're playing live with no replays, sometimes things don't look as contested as they are, or vice versa.
Yep.
Like sometimes it's like, oh, there's a crowd of dudes on the guy. Why is it like a 2% contest? And usually it's because two guys are flat-footed, one guy's behind the shooter, and it looks really crazy, but it's actually pretty open. And so it's really hard to dissect, every little clip.
If you were to freeze frame it at the point of the release, it's actually...
You can kind of see why the game is saying this is not a heavily contested shot. Even though to your eyes, in real time, in the heat of battle, it might look contested. But yeah, it's really just a lot of balancing and trying to make it so that, everything is a factor. We want people to invest in good perimeter defense or interior defense on the inside. We want to make sure that, height is effective, wingspan's important. All those things got to be important.
Right.
And not, overpower each other.
Staying on the topic of shooting, rhythm shooting was added to 2K25. You've already talked about how rhythm shooting is different this year, and we kind of need to recalibrate our brains in terms of how to think about it. You've also talked about how you want button and rhythm shooting to both be viable options. What are some factors you would say people should consider when they decide if they want to shoot with the button or with the stick?
It's going to be labbing, I think. It's going to be finding a shot that works for you and finding out like what you're good at. Because it's, I guess my analogy, maybe it's not a good one, but it might be like if shooting with the button is like shooting a free throw, and shooting with the stick is like shooting a deep three-pointer with maybe a slightly larger basket. It's like one might be easier for somebody and one might be harder for somebody, but it really depends on the person. Like some people are just going to get it. Some people are going to be in rhythm shooting and be like, I understand that tempo is what really matters. I got to get a certain speed in my stick throw to master shooting. And some people are like, I don't get it. I just can't hit a shot. I just see the window. I want to use the button. And that's fine. And then some people are going to be in the middle, like Wolf's one of our best players internally, and he's like, he has this crazy formula. He's like, I'll use button for this case, I'll use stick for this case, I'll use stick for this case, button for this case.
So certain
he's
shots,
all over the place. Yeah, certain shots it might be easier for you. For me, I do rhythm shoot. I rhythm shoot everything, like, and that's just how I play. But yeah, some people are mixing it up. Some people are just pure button, and that's kind of one of the metrics for me. Actually, is internally, what are people doing? What are they gravitating towards to be successful? And I've found that it's really a good mix. So I think we're in a decent spot. And I don't know why I want this, but I think rhythm shooting is cool. And if it was, up to me, everyone would at least try it. But like we said earlier, it's like I didn't want it to be like last year. There was definitely an advantage,
Right.
and there might be an advantage this year if you find it easier because you just happen to understand the mechanic better. But really, you can't go wrong with either.
So if someone's not like you, if they don't like rhythm shooting, it's like you shoot with the button, you're on the level playing field. It's just it's just preference.
And some people are going to be like destroying people on the button, and if you force them to rhythm shoot, they'd probably go 0 for 10.
Yeah.
So it's really, the goal is to make it both viable. Whether they're equal, I don't know if there's even a way to put a metric behind that, because I don't know how to gauge something that's that different, right? It's just different.
With the addition of the Badge Max +2 perk, you're going to be able to boost badges multiple levels now. Can you speak to how effective it's going to be? Let's say, your 78 three-pointer is typically silver set shot.
Mm-hmm.
How effective is it going to be to boost it to 78 three-pointer with half set shot versus actually getting the requirement of three-pointer to unlock the badge level? Like, how can we kind of in our brains define like how much better it's going to be?
That's a very difficult question.
All right.
It's very nuanced, and the thing about badges is they're situational, right? So a rating is going to be more global, and it's going to affect you everywhere, but the badges might be certain situations or certain contexts. So you have to consider that, like what kinds of shots are you taking? So yeah, generally speaking, I would just say find the shots that you like to take or that you tend to take. Find out the badge that's going to work best for, and then go all in on that badge. That's better than getting like bronze everything. Bronze everything is going to be like, it's not going to do a lot for you, to be honest. You're going to want to go at least silver or gold to see some effects from that badge. Otherwise, just go in on your attributes, and that's going to be more beneficial to you.
All right, let's switch gears. Finishing. We've seen 2Ks where finishing has been insane. Dunks, layups, floaters, all types of things. We've also seen years where it's been a bit hit or miss and a little inconsistent. It seems like this year was an area of focus, with custom layups and bringing back the visible green window on dunks and layups. Just talk about the challenges in terms of finding a balance, because again, there's so many factors: attributes, badges, player momentum, player size, height, all those things. How do you find that balance so that it's not overpowered, but it's also not inconsistent?
Yeah, that's another difficult one. Just one of the things I'll say from the outset is one of the goals for our team this year was, and this sounds weird, but we wanted every play style to be OP. So, you've maybe heard that before, right?
Yeah.
So like, it sucks when there's one dominant play style or two dominant play styles. We wanted it to be that if you created a slasher and even a layup slasher, like really, really specific thing, you want to be a guy who just finishes like Kyrie, that you can do that and you can be effective and you can like kill people with that.
Yeah.
But if you were like, some glass cleaning interior defensive guy, and if you invest everything in that and you get good at that, you can just, stop everything in the paint.
If everything's OP, then it's kind of just like pick what you want to be.
Yeah, pick what you want to be.
Yeah.
We want there to be a diversity in play styles. But to answer your question with slashing, yeah, it was a point of emphasis, especially with layups and dunks, to make slashing just more of a game, like more of a weapon.
Right.
Because we knew going in, these thinking green or miss is back. People are gonna be like, okay, I'm making a three-point shooter. I'm gonna left, right, cheese behind screens and just pull every shot. It's not as easy as it sounds. So don't think you're going back to 2K24. It's different, especially I mentioned with the contest. So I encourage people to try out a bunch of different styles before they commit to what they're building.
One way to play.
I mean, you've seen it already downstairs, but like floaters are tough. Like they're really strong, and if you get in your bag and you find the custom layup package that you want for your guy, you're going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, you can be exploding downhill and stop on a dime and just float it over the bit. Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah. And dunks too. You see it. We made dunks easier. It's just hold down on stick now. It's not a big Mortal Kombat throw, as people call it.
Seems like even like standing dunks as well, like standing meter dunks. Everything seems a bit more.